I'm Matthew, and for over 10 years, I've been helping organizations build useful and meaning CMMS reports. I'm also a bit of a food connoisseur. Now, before you start asking me for recipes, stick with me for a minute. Reporting is one of the least visited features in most CMMS systems, but it's also one of the most important. I see organizations spend years entering work orders, tracking labor, building PMs, assigning codes, and collecting data, and then never looking at the information they're creating. That's like planning the perfect meal. You find the ideal recipe, you buy the finest ingredients, you cook it on the best cookware money can buy. Then you never eat it. Sounds ridiculous, right? But that's exactly what happens in a lot of CMMS systems. We spend all this time creating data and almost no time using it to make better decisions. Today we're talking about reporting, how to decide what should be reported, why not every report needs to end up in a PDF or a 3-ring binder, and how reporting can help you improve performance instead of just documenting it. Work orders create data. Reporting creates value. Let's get into it. One of the biggest mistakes I see organizations make is starting with the report. Somebody asked for a report. The software comes with a report. A consultant builds a report. Or maybe you've had the same report for 10 years and nobody remembers why. And nobody is using most of them. The problem is that people assume the report is the goal. It's not. The decision is the goal. The report is just the tool that helps you get there. Before you build any report, answer 3 questions. Who's going to review it? How often are they going to review it? What decisions are they expected to make from it? If you can't answer those 3 questions, you probably don't need the report yet. In my experience, almost every report should support one of 3 types of decisions: financial decisions, operational decisions, or compliance decisions. Financial reports help answer the questions like, where should we spend money? Maybe you're looking at your most expensive assets, contractor spending, parts consumption, or trying to decide whether it's time to repair or replace a piece of equipment. Operational reports answer, how do we work better? Things like compliance, work order backlog, PM completion, response times, repeat failures, and labor utilization all help maintenance leaders improve day-to-day operations. And then there are compliance reports. These answer, can we prove we did what we said we were going to do? Fire inspections, generator testing, life safety checks, regulatory PMs. Nobody gets excited about compliance reports until the surveyor shows up. One of the things we covered in this video here is that good SOPs create consistency. Reporting should be part of that consistency. If a supervisor is supposed to review PM compliance every Friday, that report should be documented in the SOP. Otherwise, you're relying on memory. And memory is a terrible management system. The report isn't the process. The process is who reviews it, when they review it, and what action they're expected to take based off of that data. I once worked with an organization that had well over 100 saved reports in their CMMS. When I asked which ones they actually reviewed on a regular basis, the answer was about 6. 6. The rest were just taking up space. Don't start with the report. Start with the decision. The report is simply how you get there. Now that we've talked about deciding what should be reported, let's talk about something I still see all the time: printing. Lots and lots of printing. I walk into some maintenance offices and it looks like somebody is trying to keep an office supply company in business single-handedly. PM reports, labor reports, backlog reports, asset reports, everything gets printed, everything gets stapled, everything gets put into a binder, and then nobody ever looks at it again. Now, don't get me wrong. There are absolutely situations where printed reports make sense. Compliance inspections, survey preparation, meeting packets, certain audits. Sometimes paper is exactly what the doctor ordered, but many organizations are still printing reports simply because that's how they've always done it. The real question isn't whether a report should be printed. The real question is, where does this information need to be delivered so somebody can make that decision? Maybe it's a dashboard. Maybe it's a scheduled email. Maybe that's a supervisor review meeting. Maybe that's a monthly management scorecard. The report should show up where the decision happens, not where the printer happens. Think about it this way. If your PM compliance report is reviewed every Friday morning by the maintenance supervisor, why print it on Tuesday, stick it in a binder, and hope somebody remembers to get it for the meeting? Why not schedule it to arrive in their inbox Thursday afternoon or maybe even Friday morning before the meeting? Why not put it on a dashboard they already review? Why not make the information easier to consume? Remember, the concept we talked about in our workflow episode. People follow the path of least resistance. This applies to reporting too. If it takes 10 clicks, 3 folders, and a scavenger hunt through a filing cabinet to find the information, people ain't going to use it. The easier you make reporting, the more likely it is that somebody will actually act on it. There's another problem with printed reports that nobody talks about. The moment you print a report, you've frozen it in time. Think about how many work orders were created, completed, reassigned, delayed, or closed by the time that report came out of the printer and the time that somebody actually reviewed it. Maintenance operations are constantly changing. A printed report is a snapshot in time. Sometimes that's exactly what you need for an audit, a meeting packet, or a compliance document. But when you're trying to manage an active maintenance operation, static information has limitations. That's one of the reasons dashboards and business intelligence tools have become so popular. Instead of looking at what your operation looked like yesterday, you're looking at what's happening right now. And this is where business intelligence tools can be very, very powerful. Many CMMS systems already have decent reporting capabilities, but BI platforms can take that information and present it in a way that's easier to understand and easier to act on. Instead of opening 10 different reports, a manager can walk into the office and immediately see PM compliant, work order backlog, labor utilization, overdue inspections, and open corrective actions all in one place. That's not creating more data, that's making the data easier to consume. And now we're starting to see something even more interesting. AI integrations. Now, before everybody gets excited and starts talking about robot maintenance managers, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about helping people make sense of large amounts of information faster. Imagine being able to ask, what assets generated the most downtime this quarter? Show me the top 5 repeat failures from the last 6 months. Summarize the biggest maintenance trends from the past year. Instead of building a custom report every single time, AI can help surface answers much faster. But there's something important to remember. AI is only as good as the data you're feeding it. If your work orders are incomplete, your codes are inconsistent, and nobody enters failure information correctly, AI isn't going to magically fix that. It's just going to help you reach the wrong conclusion faster, which, if you've been following this channel, should sound pretty familiar. We spent the last several episodes talking about data quality, workflows, SOPs, and codes for exactly this same reason. There's one more thing to think about: timing. The best report in the world doesn't help if it arrives after the decision has already been made. Most CMMS systems can automatically email reports on a schedule. Daily, weekly, monthly. Some can even automatically print the reports if that's what your organization needs. And for many situations, that's perfectly fine. A supervisor may want a PM compliance report every Friday morning. Leadership may want a monthly scorecard. Compliance may need documentation delivered on a specific schedule. There's nothing wrong with that. But BI tools and AI integrations offer something different: immediacy. Instead of waiting for next week's report, you can see what's happening right now. Instead of waiting for someone to build a report, you can ask a question and get an answer. Neither approach is wrong. The important thing is understanding when each one makes sense. Sometimes a scheduled report is exactly what you need. Sometimes you need real-time visibility. Choose your weapon. Just make sure the information arrives when people can still do something about it. Whether it's a printed report, a dashboard, a BI tool, or an AI integration, the goal is exactly the same. Get the right information to the right people at the right time. Because information that isn't used has exactly the same value as information that doesn't exist. Now let's talk about what separates good reporting from great reporting. Good reporting tells you what happened. Great reporting helps you decide what to do next. And that difference is huge because I see organizations review reports all the time. Everybody looks at the numbers, everybody nods. Maybe somebody says, well, that's interesting. Then everybody gets back to work and nothing changes. That's not reporting, that's observation. The real value comes when reporting leads to action. Let's say a metric starts trending in the wrong direction. The report isn't the solution, the report is the warning sign. Now you can start asking questions. Why is this happening? What's changed? Do we have a staffing issue, a workflow issue, a training issue? A report helps you identify where to look. Here's another example. Suppose you discover one technician consistently enters complete notes, accurate labor hours, and detailed failure information. Another technician struggles to complete the same fields. The purpose of that report isn't to shame anybody, it's to coach. Maybe additional training is needed. Maybe expectations aren't clear. Maybe the process is harder than it needs to be. Remember, people follow the path of least resistance. If good data requires 20 clicks and a blood sample, don't be surprised when people take shortcuts. Reports help expose those problems. They show us where the process is helping people succeed and where it's getting in their way. There's another reason reporting matters that doesn't get talked about enough. Feedback. One of the things we covered in our workflow episode is that people are much more willing to participate in a process when they can see their input making a difference. The same thing happens to reporting. Think about it from a technician's perspective. They're entering labor hours, closing work orders, documenting failures, recording parts usage, adding notes, day after day like they're supposed to. And if all that information disappears into a black hole, eventually they're going to start wondering why they're bothering. And honestly, that's a fair question. But when supervisors use reports to improve scheduling, justify additional staffing, identifying recurring equipment problems, recognize good performance, or remove obstacles from a workflow, people start to see the value. Now the data has a purpose. Now the work matters. Users care more about the data when they can see what it does. That's one of the fastest ways to improve data quality in a CMMS, not by demanding better data, by showing people how their data is being used. And reports shouldn't only identify problems, they should identify success. If one department consistently performs well, what are they doing differently? What can other teams learn from them? Reporting isn't just about finding what's broken, it's about finding what's working and repeating it. One of the most powerful things reporting can do is provide an early warning before a small problem becomes a big one. The trend starts moving in the wrong direction. Nobody's panicking yet. Nothing has failed yet, but the data is telling you a story. And that's where reporting becomes incredibly valuable. It helps you act before the problem becomes expensive. It helps you make decisions before the situation becomes a crisis. At the end of the day, every report should help answer one of these three questions. Where are we winning? Where are we struggling? What should we do next? If your report doesn't help to answer one of those questions, it may be time to rethink why you're running it. Because the goal of reporting isn't collecting information. The goal of reporting is improving decisions. And better decisions create better maintenance organizations. All right, so this week I want you to pick one report, just one. Ask yourself 3 questions. Who reviews it? What decision does it support? And what action gets taken because of it? If you can't answer those questions, that report deserves a closer look. And while you're at it, tell me in the comments, what is the most important report in your CMMS? Or better yet, what's the report nobody looks at even though somebody keeps asking for it? I'd love to hear your answers. And if you're struggling to get more meaningful information out of your CMMS, and need a little help, my email's in the description below. Next time, we're going to be talking about CMMS training, something that's near and dear to my heart. Why does training seem to work during go live, but fall apart 6 months later? Why do experienced technicians stop following the process? And why is training usually not the real problem? We're going to dig into all of that next episode. Remember that meal analogy from the beginning? The work orders, the PMs, the codes, the workflows, the SOPs. These are the ingredients. Reporting is where you finally sit down and eat. It's where all that effort turns into decisions. And decisions are where the value lives. If you're trying to figure out where reporting fits into your organization, I'd recommend checking out this video here on SOPs, because great reports are only useful when there's a process behind them. That's the good part. I'm Matthew. I'm the sassy guy where every work order tells a story.